everyone, my name is Princess Kanandang from Group 5. So, before we start, let me introduce to you my group mates.
Hi, I am Kyla Malveda.
Hello, I'm Shalo Lalim Landicho.
Hi, I'm Raiselin Repayo.
And I am Carla Sinar, and we are the Group 5.
And now let us proceed to our main topic, which is the rescisable contract. And I will discuss to you guys the Article 1380 and 1381. So, rescisable contract under Article 1380 says, contract validly agreed upon may be rescinded in the case established by law. So, sinasabi dito na the rescisable contract are valid because all the essential reciprocal contracts are exist. But the reason of injury or damage to one of the party or third person such as creditor, the contract may be rescinded. So, in this article, malinaw na sinabi na the rescisable contract are valid because all the essential requisites contract are exist. But by the reason of injury and damages, the valid contract can be rescinded. So, in rescission is a remedy granted by law to the contracting parties and sometimes even the third person in order to secure reparation of damages caused by them by a valid contract by means of the restoration of things to their condition which is they were prior to the celebration of said contract. So these are the following requisites before the remedy of rescission may be valid of. First, the contract must be validly agreed upon. So, the contract must be valid. Second, there must be a lesion or pecuniary prejudice to one of the party or to the third person. Third, the rescission must be based upon a case specially provided by law. Fourth, there must be no other legal remedy to obtain reparation for the damages. Fifth, the party asking for rescission must be able to return what he is obliged to restore by reason of the contract. So, kailangan maibalik yun ng walang labis or walang kulang. So, sixth, the object of contract must not legally be in a possession of third party who did not act in a bad faith. So, sinasabi dito, kailangan yung kontrata ng third party ay hindi legally contract. Kumbaga, wala silang valid contract. And lastly, the period of filing the action for rescission must not have prescribed. So, ibig sabihin, pag yung contract ay nailagay na or nabigyan na ng action, hindi na kailangan bigyan ng resulta. Let us proceed to our Article 1381. The following contract are rescisable. So, those which are entered into by guardians whenever the wards whom they represent suffer lesion by more than 1/4 of the value of the things which are object thereof. So, for example, Jose is a 5 years old boy who owned a farm near at Quezon City. His mom decided to sell the worth 20 million to 10 million pesos. When Jose turned into a legal age and noticed that he is suffering by more than 1/4, the contract between his mom and the third party can be rescinded. So, the second one is those agreed upon the representation of absentees if the latter suffer the lesion stated in the preceding number. Like, for example, nag-volunteer ako sa naiwang business ng tita ko, although wala naman siyang pinagbilinan. So, nag-volunteer ako and then one day, nalugi yung business na meron yung tita ko. And then, para maiahon yung business niya, para ma-renovate or ano man yung mga nasira doon, binenta ko yung kalahati ng lupa na meron siya sa business. And then dahil nga wala naman akong totaling karapatan, although may contract kami, yung tita ko, pwede niyang i-rescind yun and ibalik lahat ng kung ano yung nawala sa kanya. Third is those undertaken in a fraud or creditors when the latter cannot in any other manner collect the claims due them. So, action to the rescind in the fraud creditor is known as action pauliana. So, in order that fraud or creditor may be a valid ground for rescission, the following requisite must be also be presented. So, second to the last, those which refer to the things under litigation if they have been entered into by the defendant without the knowledge and approval of the litigants or of the component judicial authority. So, for example, the case is that Katana sells the land without approval of Japet or of the court so that the sales rescisable dahil sa walang matibay na kasunduan at naturing na pinagbilhan ni Katana ay walang legal na possession sa land, and the case can be received. And lastly, for Article 1381, all other contracts specially declared by law to be subject to rescission. Ibig sabihin, lahat nga ng nakapaloob sa law, it can be rescinded or mauuwi ito sa rescission. Basta ito ay nakasaad sa law. And that's all for our Article 1380 and 1381. So let us proceed to 1383, which will discuss Miss Kyla Manbeda.
Hi, I'm Kyla Malveda. I'm going to discuss the Article 1382 to Article 1384. So let's proceed to the Article 1382. In Article 1382, payments made in a state of insolvency for obligation to whose fulfillment the debtor could not be compelled at the time they were affected are also rescissible. This talk about payment made in the state of insolvency. Article 1382 is a part of the Civil Code of the Philippines and pertain to rescissible contracts, which are the agreements that can be annulled. It states that the payments made during a person's incapacity to fulfill obligation that cannot be enforced against them at the time of payment may be rescinded or set aside. This aims to protect creditors or individuals who may be affected by this circumstance. For better understanding, example nito ay kung si Juan ay may utang kay Maria na 10,000 pesos ngunit sa oras ng pagbabayad, alam na ni Juan na wala siyang sapat na pera para bayaran ito ng buo. Pero pilit pa rin niyang binabayaran si Maria ng 5,000 pesos. Ayon sa batas, maaaring bawiin or i-cancel ni Maria yung binayad na 5,000 pesos dahil sa pagiging insolvency ni Juan. This statement from Article 1382 of the Civil Code of the Philippines ay nagbibigay ng karapatan sa isang tao na bawiin or i-cancel yung mga bayad na ginawa sa panahon ng insolvency or kawalan ng kakayahan ng isang tao na bayaran ang kanyang utang. That's it for Article 1382. Let's proceed to Article 1383. The action for rescission is subsidiary. It cannot be instituted except when the party suffering damage has no other legal means to obtain reparation for the same. That is, it can be done only when the parties who suffered have no other legal means to recover the damage suffered, and this is a step that should only be taken when there is no other opportunity to obtain reparation or payment for damage. For better understanding, example, nagkasundo si Juan at Maria na si Juan ay bibili ng isang sasakyan kay Maria, but after ng transaction, napagtanto or nalaman ni Juan na ang sasakyan ay may damage or sira na hindi nabanggit ni Maria. Sa ganitong situation, maaaring subukan ni Juan yung action for rescission dahil wala na siyang ibang paraan upang mabawi yung kanyang damage. But if there are other ways or remedies to obtain payment or reparation, it is better to use them instead of pursuing an action for rescission. This is because the action for rescission can be considered as a subsidiary remedy and can be only used when there is no other legal means to recover damage. That's it for Article 1383. Let's proceed to Article 1384. Article 1384, rescission shall be only to extent necessary to cover the damages caused. This means that if there is a part of the contract that can be recovered or fixed, it is not necessary to void the entire contract. This is done to maintain the integrity of the contract as much as possible. For example, si Ethan ay nagpautang kay Olivia ng 1 million para sa pagbili ng isang sasakyan, ngunit hindi rin niya ito binili at hindi rin ibinalik yung pera kay Ethan. In this case, rescission may be an option for Ethan to recover the unpaid 1 million from Olivia. hindi kailangan buong kontrata yung i-resend dahil ang kawalan lang ng payment ni Olivia yung need ayusin. Kung sakali namang magbayad si Olivia ng 1 million, maaaring hindi na ipatupad yung rescission because the obligation will be fulfilled. The primary principle is to uphold the contract and not to immediately render to void. That's it for Article 1384. Carlo Osinar is here to discuss the Article 1385 to Article 1387.
Article 1385. Rescission creates the obligation to return the things which were the objects of the contract, together their fruits and the price with it interest. So, according to Article 1385, rescission is remedy granted by law to contracting parties and sometimes even to the third person in order to secure the separation of damages. But Article 1385 have consequently, it can be carried out only when who demands rescission can return whatever he may be obliged to restore. So, ibig sabihin, kung sino man yung may kasalanan, siya lang ang may obligation to restore the things or money. So, ibig sabihin, the damage is demanded to the person who causing the loss. For example, contracting companies agreed to a contract to work together on a building project, but both lost of many their employees at the same time. So, they mutually decide to resign the contract to rectify the situation. So, we have here other explanation about rescission in many ways to better understanding. First is, rescission creates obligation of mutual restitution. The purpose of rescission is to restore the parties to their original situation. The second one is obligation of third person to restore. If the third person has nothing to restore, the article does not apply. When rescission is not allowed, rescission cannot be availed of it. The party who demands rescission cannot return what he is to obliged to restore under the contract. So let's move on Article 1386. Rescission referred to in Notes 1 and 2 of Article 1381 shall not take place with respect to contract approved by the courts. So Article 1386, just like Article 1381, includes that any contracts entered into by guardians when their wards suffer lesion by more than 1/4 of the items that the object thereof. A contract agreed to it representation of an absentee if the absentee suffered the lesion. So lesion is damage caused by the fact that the price is unjust or inadequate. Absentee is the person who disappears and being unknown, and the person who living without an agent to administer his property. Let's move on to contract approved by the courts. If the contract was entered into behalf of a ward or absentee has been approved by the court, rescission cannot take place because it is valid whether this is lesion or not. Dito naman is, once na na-approve na yung contract and it was submitted to the court, hindi na maaaring mabago and it's required to approve the contract by the court. Once the contract is on behalf of a ward. Let's move on to Article 1387. Article 1387. All contracts by virtue of which the debtor alienates property by gratuitous title are presumed to have been entered into in fraud of creditors when the donor did not reserve sufficient property to pay all debts contracted before the donation. Article 1387. In this article, it is all about presumption of fraud that debtor alienates property by gratuitous title into in fraud of creditors. When we say alienation presumed in fraud of creditors, this provision establishes prima facie presumption of fraud in the case of alienation by the debtor of his property. Let's move to alienation presumed in fraud of creditors. Dito naman is tumutukoy naman siya sa provision of prima facie. Prima facie is the legal claim that has sufficient evidence to proceed to trial or judgment. Circumstances denominated as badges of fraud. The consideration of whether or not certain transfers are fraudulent. Court have laid down certain rules by which the fraudulent character of the transaction may be determined. Circumstances denominated, It is the fact that the conveyance is considered as fictitious or inadequate or transmitted by the debtor after suit been begun, and the later it is pending against him.
I'm Greg Pasueto and I'm here to discuss the Articles 1388 to 1390. Ayon sa 1388, ang sinamang in bad faith sa alienated thing ang siyang magbabayad ng damages kung ito man ay imposible nang maibalik. Kung maraming alienations na magaganap, liable ang unang gumawa nito. Kung hindi kaya, din ang sumunod ang hahanapin, and so on. Dito sa example, binenta ni Beckett ang bag kay Cuson, pero alam ni Cuson na hindi pa fully paid ni Beckett sa binenta niya. If sale was rescinded at nasira ang bag habang ibinabalik iyon, si Beckett ang magbabayad ng damages. What if buo pa ang bag at in bad faith si Cuson? Transfer niya ang bag kay Macaron. Then ang first acquirer ang liable, si Cuson. Kapag hindi kaya ni Cuson magbayad at in bad faith din, si Macaron ang susunod na hanapin para magbayad ng damages kapag nasira ang bag. Next, Article 1389. Ang pag-claim ng rescission of contracts ay dapat magawa within 4 years. Para sa mga minors, once na maging legal sila, saka mag-uumpisa ang pagbibilang ng 4 years. Para naman sa mga absentees, once na makabalik sila ng Pilipinas, saka mag-uumpisa iyon. Article 1390 is the beginning of voidable contracts. This article tackles what is voidable or annulable contract and is about consent. Ang mga contracts ay voidable kahit walang damages kapag ang isang party ay hindi kaya magbigay ng consent or ang consent ay vitiated ng mistake, violence, intimidation, at fraud. Ang mga contracts ay pwedeng ipasawalang bisa with proper action in court. That is all. The next articles will be discussed by the next reporter.
I will be discussing to you the Article 1391, 1392, and 1393. Article 1391. The action for annulment shall be brought within 4 years. Ibig sabihin, 4 years kang pwedeng mag-file ng action for annulment. Question. Kailan ito mag-uumpisa? The answer is depende kung ito ay intimidation, violence, or undue influence from the time the defect of the consent ceases. Kapag naman na-discover mong ito ay fraud or mistake, kung kailan mo na-discover yung mistake or fraud, saka pa lang mag-uumpisa yung 4 years period. And when the action refers to the contracts entered into by minor or other incapacitated person from the time the guardianship ceases, it means if you reach the age of majority, di yan mag-uumpisa yung 4 years period. And if you are incapacitated person but you are in the legal age, pero you are incapable for managing your properties or taking care of yourself, kaya meron kang guardian. So, from the time na nawala na yung incapacity mo, that's the time na makakount yung 4 years period. For example, Calix was intimidated into signing a contract on February 14, 2015. The intimidation continued until November 5, 2017. The question is, what time should we compute the 4 years period for annulment of contract? The answer is from November 5, 2017 when the intimidation ceases. Another example. Calix and Luna entered into a contract on May 12, 2019. On April 14, 2020, Luna discovered that fraud has been present at the time she entered into that contract. So, nalaman niya na niloloko pala siya ni Calix. So, dito pwede siyang mag-file ng annulment dahil may fraud o lokohan na nangyari. Question. From what time should we compute the 4 years period for annulment of contract? Answer is kung kailan niya nalaman na niloko siya ni Calix, that's the year of 2020 on April 14, right? Kailangan nang mag-file ni Luna ng action for annulment dahil kung hindi, yung right niya to sue Calix for the set of annulment will prescribe. Last example for Article 3091. Clayden was the owner of 15,000 square meter property. Clayden married Maureen and nagkameron sila ng 3 anak na sina Calix, Callie, and Carl. After the death of Maureen, Clayden married Samantha and nagkaroon din sila ng anak na 3, sina Rhea, Bea, and Abby. After the death of Clayden, the children of the first and second marriage executed an extrajudicial partition of the forestated property on May 12, 2004. Rhea, Bea, and Abby were given a 2,000 square meter portions of the property. They were minor at that time of the executions of the document. Si Rhea ay 17 years old, si Bea naman ay 15 at si Abby ay 10 years old. And they were made to believe by Calix, Callie, and Carl that unless they sign the document, they will not get any shares. Na-discover lang nila yung fraud na ginawa sa kanila nung 3 noong February 10, 2007. But nag-file sila ng action in court to nullify the suit noong December 10, 2008. So, 1 year bago sila nag-file ng action. Pwede naman kasi sinasabi dito sa Article 3091 na 4 years kang pwedeng mag-file ng action for annulment. Nagsisimula naman yung pagka-count kung kailan na-discover yung fraud na nangyari. So, question, can the minority of Rhea, Bea, and Abby be a basis to nullify the partition? Yes, because they are minor and were not properly presented by their parents or guardians at the time they contracted the extrajudicial partition. Article 3092. Ratification extinguishes the action to annul a voidable contract. This Article 3092 is all about the meaning of ratification. Ratification means that one voluntarily adopt or approve some defective or unauthorized act or contract which, without his subsequent approval or consent, would not be binding on him. It indicates an intention on the part of ratifier to be bound to the provision of the contract. Ibig sabihin nito, despite knowing na merong defect yung contract, you still adopt or approve it. It means yung intention mo is only to ratify or to be bound by that contract, mas pinipili mong maging bind to that contract. Ratification cleanses the contract from all its defects from the moment it was constituted. Contract thus become valid, hence the action to annul is extinguished. Example, Lysander, a minor, bought a house. Upon reaching the age of majority, Lysander sold the house to Sebi. So, dito, hindi na pwedeng mag-file ng action to annul the contract si Lysander kasi there is already implied ratification. So, the action for annulment is extinguished kasi this is considered as an act of ratification. Yung nabanggit dito na implied ratification ay may di-discuss natin sa next article. Another example, Lysander is a minor, sold his house to Sebi. Upon reaching the age of majority, Lysander collected the unpaid balance. It means he waived his right to an action for annulment, meaning niratify niya na lang yung kontrata. So, the action for annulment dito is may extinguish. Article 3093. Ratification may be affected expressly or tacitly. It is understood that there is a tacit ratification if, with knowledge of the reason which renders the contract voidable and such reason having ceased, the person who has a right to invoke it should execute an act which necessarily implies an intention to waive his right. Article 1393 only discusses the two kinds of ratification. Kung sa Article 1392, diniscuss natin yung meaning ng ratification, dito naman yung two kinds of ratification, the express and implied or tacit ratification. Express ratification means it is manifested in words or in writing. Sa implied or tacit naman, it is through an act or conduct to waiving his right from the action for annulment.